Chapter 18, Touch the Sky. Y'all might as well get the music ready because this is going to take a while. When I had my accident, I found out at that moment nothing in life is promised except death. If you have the opportunity to play this game called life, you have to appreciate every moment. A lot of people don't appreciate their moment until it's past. And then you got to tell those Al Bundy stories. You remember when right now, it's my time and my moment. Thanks to the fans. Thanks to the accident. Thanks to God. Thanks to Rockefeller, Jay-Z, Dame Dash, G, my mother, Rhymefest, everyone that's helped me. And I plan to celebrate and scream and pop champagne every chance I get. Because I'm at the Grammys, baby. I know everybody asked me the question. They wanted to know what Kanye, I know he's going to wild out. I know he's going to do something crazy. Everybody wanted to know what I would do if I didn't win. I guess we'll never know. Kanye West, Grammy Acceptance Speech 2006. That speech was about the whole idea of seizing the moment, to live in the now, to not look back and say, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. This is something that I'm learning from Kanye. I haven't mastered this yet, but I certainly see the need for carpe diem, to seize the day and really live. Kanye was saying, it's my time right now, and I'm going to live it right now. When he was on the Oprah Winfrey Show, he said that if we are living life in living color, then he wanted to live it in bright red, bold, loud, and alive. And I get that. Why be here on this earth if nobody notices? Why be here if you're not going to make a difference? Why be alive if you're not going to live? We teach best what we most need to learn. We oftentimes know something, but we don't live it. I see things in him that I may have given lip service to, but he applies them. Relaxing, going into my living room every day and looking at either the sunrise or the sunset. That's what I'm doing. I will not let a day go by that I don't take 15 to 30 minutes to smell the roses. I never did that before. We lived on Lake Michigan for 8 years. Kanye and I and the dog would go out and play fetch. I would look at the lake, but I never looked all the way across. You could see the skyline of Chicago, but I would stop my vision. Kanye never stopped his vision. He took in the whole picture. My parents taught me to think about flying, but Kanye is teaching me to actually fly. I'm a copycat when it comes to Kanye. I see my whole style changing. I've gone from being a collector to being a minimalist. I used to want every spot on the wall covered, and I would have so much furniture that I would almost break my leg trying to get through a room. Now my house is sparsely furnished, and the art is sparingly and strategically placed. I realize that I like it that way. It makes me feel less cluttered, freer. I've always lived in homes that were Victorian or colonial. Now I have an open floor plan with the view of an ocean. Thank you, Kanye, for this birthday present. And I noticed that my demeanor changes in this environment. I have even started doing a little yoga. The older you get, the more you realize how short life is. Everyone should make a commitment to enjoy every day on this earth, to stop and smell the roses, and to make a real attempt to touch the sky. Chapter 19, Giving Back, Loop Dreams. Won't you please join us in making a difference? A message from Kanye. For as long as I can remember, I have dreamed of making a substantial impact in the music world. Hard work and other values such as commitment, respect, discipline, integrity, and responsibility conspired to drive me toward my dream. Over the past few years, I have had the opportunity to meet hundreds of young people across this land, and contrary to popular belief, they also have goals and dreams. Consequently, I have concluded that prospering in the world of music is only a piece of what I really wanted to accomplish. So I was encouraged, in fact, driven to find and develop Loop Dreams, the first initiative of the Kanye West Foundation. This rap writing and music production program is designed to involve students in learning through a hands on curriculum we believe will motivate and compel them to stay in school and graduate. Loop Dreams is an unprecedented approach to engaging students in not only the study of hip hop and the way it can be used to better our world, but in the development of habits of mind that are critical to student success no matter what path they ultimately choose to follow. I fervently believe that, as someone who has said before, as someone has said before, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. I want to help change the way young people look at school and hence the way they look at their futures. Not long after Kanye signed his record deal with Rockefeller and before the release of College Dropout, he asked me one of the most important questions he has ever asked. Mom, when am I going to start giving back? It blew me away. We had talked about a number of things that day, including whether he'd stay in New Jersey or rent for a little longer, or whether he would buy something in Manhattan. I was never big on renting. I'm into ownership, and I was focused on how Kanye would make the break from the Hudson T building in Hoboken, New Jersey, to at least a one-bedroom condo in the city. But Kanye wasn't very interested in searching for property. His mind was on giving back. Kanye never got high marks in the plays well with others section on his report card. He was an only child and he never really had to share his toys. Everything he had was his. I never put him in the Boy Scouts, as my friends had recommended, thinking it would give him a more communal sense. And he never wanted a little brother or sister growing up. He told me as much. He was pretty single mindedly focused on his entire childhood. So while I wasn't surprised when he asked me that question about giving back, it was not expected at that time. In the first throes of success, instead of thinking only about all of the things he would do for himself, he was also thinking about what he must do for others. That was a proud moment for me. Well, Kanye, I said, you can start giving back at any time. But since there was still not a whole lot of money coming in at the time, I wondered what Kanye had in mind. Paying the rent, which was now substantial, and all of the bills and buying those extras that he wanted, like the huge pool table and the flat screen TV, the Mercedes Benz and the designer clothes, wouldn't leave much for charity. But Kanye had a plan. He decided that he'd give 10% of whatever he netted to someone less fortunate. He'd just pick somebody, give them the cash, and that would be that. Immediately, I thought that he probably had a conversation with his dad about tithing. It made me feel good that Kanye was so intent on giving that he would sacrifice something he could have purchased for himself. But there had to be a better way than just giving cash to someone at random. Kanye, it's great that you want to give back, I told him. Let's look into the best ways to do that very soon. Kanye is the kind of person that if he has something on his mind, there's no waiting. There's no very soon. There's only right now. There would be no looking into it as far as Kanye was concerned. They would just be doing it. I knew that I had better come up with my own plan if I didn't want Kanye just handing out money. I'd always thought that Kanye would one day have a foundation. I was confident that he would be rich and famous. So I came up with the idea for a 501c3 through which he could raise money to help others. Not only would Kanye be helping others, he'd get a tax break for doing it. All the money he put into the foundation would be tax deductible. It made much more sense than unstructured giving. I shared the idea with Kanye and he got right on board. Okay, let's do it, he said. It was time to go to work. I didn't know much about foundations. I'd never been a part of one. I just knew that lots of people had them and they were doing wonderful things through them. The first person to come to mind was Oprah. Everyone who knows me knows I'm an Oprah fanatic. I've admired her for many years and love everything about her. No way could anyone ever say anything negative about her around me. I wasn't having it. All of my friends know I won't stand for any Oprah bashing. Anyone who'd ever tried it would hear it from me. I just can't understand how people who do nothing for anyone but themselves and maybe their families could say something negative about someone who does so much for so many. When I thought about this foundation, Oprah was the first person that I thought of. I went online to read about her foundation to see if there was anything I could garner that might be helpful to us. I thought of the things she'd do to make a difference on her show, little things that were actually huge, like focusing on gratitude and random acts of kindness. The wheels started turning, but I still didn't know what to suggest to Kanye, at least not programmatically. We decided to launch the foundation without a signature program. It would just be a foundation through which Kanye could give to other foundations or worthy causes. Soon, however, Kanye came up with another plan. He decided he wanted to have his own program. Rather than raise money for other worthy causes, he would raise money for a specific purpose and a specific program of his own. He wanted a music production program where he could put music studios in the schools and help motivate students to stay in school and graduate. He told me that when he was in high school, all he liked was art, music, recess, and lunch. He had grown tired or bored with all the other subjects. Of course, there was no threat of him ever dropping out of high school because he knew I would have killed him first. But still, he struggled through the academic courses with no motivation like what he wanted to provide. In school, I can never make music, I heard on the radio, he said. If kids have opportunities to do that, maybe they will stay in school. We talked about the tremendous dropout problem in schools across the nation. And when he learned that more than 50% of African American and Latino students drop out of school before graduation, that was it. He knew how he wanted to give back. His would be a dropout prevention program involving music production and rap. He felt that he felt that would definitely motivate kids to stay in school. Just as kids have hoop dreams and want to stay in school to play basketball, Kanye felt that many kids today want to rap and produce music. They have loop dreams, he said, and we had our name, Loop Dreams. It was confirmed when we met Mickey Woodward, the then director of programs at Creative Artists Agency. Mickey was very familiar with foundations. In her capacity as CAA, she worked with them all the time. When she heard about the idea, she was instantly on board. Beverly Williams retired early from a 30-year career in education to come aboard as program director. She knew kids inside and out. We were ready to plan and then implement. Loop Dreams launched at the Accelerated School in South Central Los Angeles as a one-semester pilot program in the fall of 2006. 75 eighth graders went to their Loop Dreams class every day where they studied in an academic setting the whole of hip hop culture. They studied the history of rap, famous rappers, the impact of positive versus negative lyrics, how to create a loop, how to create a track, and careers in the music industry. Each day, students ran to class excited about making music of their own. They also learned the habits of mind that characterize the program: commitment, respect, discipline, integrity, and responsibility. Loop Dreams was a big hit, but it's not always easy to make decisions about such an important project. One night, as I lay thinking about some critical decisions that had to be made, my phone rang. It was Chuck Ortner, the president of the foundation. He wanted to talk about expanding the Loop Dreams program and suggested we consider WISE, Boys and Girls Clubs, and other such venues for program expansion. Since the, since the foundation was launched in the fall of 2003, Kanye has contributed over $450,000 to the Kanye West Foundation in support of programs and initiatives designed to help others, and he is seeing his idea come to fruition and believes that students' performance is linked to student passion. When students are passionate about what they are doing, learning becomes fun and they are more likely to achieve the program goals as well as personal goals they set for themselves. Loop Dreams is a rigorous program where students not only learn to write and produce music, they must also demonstrate increased literacy skills, heightened self-worth, and hopefully start the road of self-actualization through the arts. To Kanye, superstar status carries with it responsibility. It mandates giving back to the world community in proportion to what he has received. His vision, and therefore the vision of the Kanye West Foundation, is not without challenges, but understanding the critical role of education, literacy, and preparedness in the success or failure of young people reaffirms the importance of programs like Loop Dreams. Kanye and the foundation board members envision the day when the high school dropout rate in cities across the nation will be virtually non existent. It is a well known fact that kids who drop out of high school often end up in dead end jobs, unemployed, or on the streets, on welfare, in jail, or even dead. The meaningful contributions they could potentially make to themselves, their families, and to the world are lost. Kanye is driven with the help of the foundation to put a huge dent in the dropout rate and eventually help eliminate the dropout problem altogether. Kanye's giving did not begin with Loop Dreams, and it doesn't end there. He has made substantial contributions to victims of the Katrina disaster and through the foundation donated money to support Tiffany Person's Shine On Sierra Leone project. Fully committed to alleviating the awful suffering of children in Sierra Leone mining schools, Tiffany called one day to talk about the grave problems there and inquired about the possibility of Kanye making a contribution. I had never spoken to Tiffany prior to that day, but it was apparent in her voice that not only was the problem dire, a fact well known by all who dare to delve beyond news reports, in which the full story is never told. But she has personally felt driven to help to do whatever she could to make a difference. After speaking with her, I knew Kanye would not hesitate to make a contribution. Immediately, I hung up the phone and called Kanye to relate to him the discussion I just had with Tiffany. He was actually across the world on tour. We spoke for just a couple of minutes. It would not take long for Kanye to be fully on board. We had not yet established the formal board for the foundation, so it would be up to a handful of us to make the decision. It was a no-brainer, and I was happy to get back to Tiffany with our affirmative reply. According to Tiffany, through a generous donation from the Kanye West Foundation, Shine On Sierra Leone was able to rehabilitate the first school in the impoverished diamond mining community of Bonjama. After 10 days of laboring from dawn to dusk, the school was reborn with a brand new roof, cemented floor, painted interior and exterior walls, repaired toilets, and a new iron door with locks. Tiffany told us she'd be forever grateful for the initial support from the Kanye West Foundation. Well, we are more grateful to her for her vision, commitment, and hard work. Through her efforts, the Sierra Leone Foundation was launched and will be the face for improving the lives of thousands of children devastated by poverty, yet living on rich soil. Thankfully, Kanye has found many ways to give back. Ways as small as talking to a distraught teenager who just lost their best friend in a car accident, to as large as doing a full concert in New York City to benefit colon cancer research. Wake up, Mr. West. Wake up, Mr. West, says the teacher on Kanye's Late Registration album. This teacher is insistent that Kanye, asleep in class, must wake up and pay attention. I'm here to inform the teacher that everyone else that Mr. West I'm here to inform the teacher that everyone else that Mr. West is awake. He's not only awake, but he's also aware that giving back is not only an obligation, but a privilege.